Hey there, what's up everybody? Welcome back to my channel, Decoding Health, where we help you take charge of your health and where we decode the doctor's orders. So due to popular demand, I decided to have a part 2 of this topic, masculinities and health. And I decided and I realized that speaking about this topic in 5 minutes is actually not doing it justice. What I realized is that this is actually quite a broad topic that speaks to a much greater social issue that we have. And as much as I spoke about it and I introduced the topic of masculinities in the first video and also just spoke a little bit on how it affects and relates to our health, I think in this video we actually need to be more real. So before I get into the second video, if you haven't checked out the first video, I suggest that you go back and watch it before you continue with this one. I'll put the link in the description box down below so that you can go and watch it. But actually in this video, what I'll be doing is that, as I said, I will be much more real. And what I'll be doing is that I'll be incorporating some suggestions and comments from other viewers and also give you a little bit of my view on this topic. So without wasting any time, folks, let's get into it. So the topic of masculinities is a social issue that underpins quite a lot of the problems that we currently have in society. It may not be the only one, but I realize that it's actually a major contributor to these social issues that we have, and obviously our social issues do affect our health. And being the big health and social justice activist that I think I am, I saw it fit that I should discuss this topic. So our masculinities are not working. I think they are a problem. Practically, I actually think that they are toxic. Our women are tired, our women are exhausted, and our women are fed up at being subdued, at being abused, at being hurt at the hands of men. And I know that right now you might be thinking that, hey dude, I actually didn't do anything to hurt a woman. I actually didn't do anything to say anything bad to a woman or even touch her. But what this speaks about is not actually something that you did on a major scale. It's not a major thing that was done, but it could be something minor. It's not necessarily something that you did directly, but it could be an indirect action. So it's not necessarily that you went and you hurt a woman, but it could be that you didn't call out your boy the other day when he looked at a woman inappropriately, where he made that very weird comment where he was actually dehumanizing another woman. So this speaks to a much broader society, and it doesn't just focus on the individual man. You can sort of compare this to racism, where racism is not necessarily what an individual person does to subdue a person of color, but it speaks to a greater system and a greater societal problem where people of color are institutionally being subdued. And so what I'm trying to say is that masculinities, basically our very definition of a man, is something that is not working for us in our society. Well, if it was working for us, then a lot of problems that we actually currently have in our society, we wouldn't have. We wouldn't be seeing that these single parents where we have one child that doesn't know their father and they grow up with a lot of mental health issues and also grow up with a longing and a seeking for affirmation and growing up with many insecurities. So what I'm speaking about is that we need to change and we need to rewire. We need to change a perspective, we need to change our behaviors, we need to change what attributes the man. And what we need to engage in is a process of learning and unlearning. So our masculinities have been formed, have been modeled, and have been engraved into us by the societies that we found ourselves in from a young age. Which means that as you grew up, your perspectives, your behaviors, your attitudes were being formed as to what it is to be a man. And obviously what informed all of this was either the culture, the family, the religion, or even the society that you found yourselves in as you were growing up. But my question is this: what if that was not entirely right? What if that is something, what you were being taught and what we were being taught as men, isn't not something that is actually working for society at this current point in time? Yes, we do not actually have a perfect blueprint as to what it means and what it looks like to be the perfect man. But what I do know is that what we currently have in society is definitely not that perfect thing. So what I think we need to do now is we need to rethink. We need to change and we need to create a new norm of our behaviors, our perspectives, and our attitudes as men. So history has shown us that masculinities have the ability to evolve and have the ability to change. It has shown that the roles, the behaviors, and the perceptions of men have been changing over time. So what this means is that there is actually a room to change. And I think where we need to start is with ourselves, where we need to get into a time of introspection where we ask ourselves the question: are my roles, are my perspectives, are my attitudes those that are helping to build society in making it peaceful and harmonious? And from there we now need to reach new norms, where we need to make it okay and make it normal for men to be able to account for their actions and for their decisions. Where we make it normal for men to be okay with being vulnerable and actually being okay with serving our women and children and catering to their physical and emotional well-being. Where we need to be okay and we need to normalize that and engrave it in ourselves that women are our equals, and get rid of this entitlement where we think that the world revolves around us. What we need to do is that we need to build a society where we normalize wisdom as a principal thing and a thing that is very much part of our essence in our decision making. We need to normalize the fact that now we need to start building a future generation of men that will be one that is respecting and that is actually serving of other women and of other children. You know, there is a study that showed that where there is a man present and where there's a normal nuclear family with a man that is very involved in the bringing up and in the nurturing of a child, that child actually grows up to be much more better and it is less likely to have problems with mental health issues, does much better socially, and they actually physically grow much healthier. So it is evident that we need to normalize present fathers. We need to normalize good nurturing behaviors in families. We need to normalize and we need to get rid of this thing of boys will be boys and now teach boys to be accountable for their actions and not justify them because of their age. And what we need to do is that we need as men to come together and try and build a harmonious and peaceful society. And what we need to do is that we need to take the fragments of society that have been torn down, and what we need to do is that we need to come back and rebuild them. But where that starts is with us, with yourself, in thinking of what am I doing to help and build a harmonious society? Am I actually contributing in building the fragmented society that we actually build in, or that we actually live in? Or what am I doing that is actually benefiting other people that are actually around me? And it doesn't just speak to women and children, but it also speaks to, are you actually benefiting other men? Are you calling them out? Are you actually teaching them? And are you helping them in this process of learning and unlearning? And that's what I think that we need to do. That's what I need us to engage in. And that's what I think we need to embark on a process of, where we now need to rethink men in a way that benefits us as society. So masculinities is a broad societal issue, and it is one that also informs our health. And what I think is that when we deal with it from the root, what we can have is a better, harmonious and peaceful society. And what we'll also have is better health, not just physically, but also socially and mentally. And I think that it is an issue that we need to engage in. And so if you have any comments, if you have any suggestions, please feel free to drop a comment down below. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and hit that bell icon. Well, this is the end of my talk on masculinities and health. I am Lungile Hlachwayo, and I am here to serve you, to know better, to do better, and obviously to feel better. This is Decoding Health.